හරිම සුමුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9, this Wednesday, the 20th of March 2024. Recommend to differ. Committee on Public Finance Chair recommends postponing salary increments for central bank officials. Calls for a committee to probe further. COPE continues. Despite resignations, the Committee on Public Enterprises holds its first meeting of the 9th Parliament. Former COPE member Iran Vikramaratne insists suitable appointments are needed. Protest riot. Tear gas and water cannons fired at demonstrating youth in Colombo after protests turned violent. Over 30 arrested. IMF reassurance. State Minister of Finance confirms that the ongoing reform program will be enshrined in law to ensure its immunity from the upcoming elections.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දිනූ සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසින් ලබාගත හැක.
From Derana, this is Derana First at 9 with Indivari Amuata and Mahish Johnny. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to First at 9 this Wednesday night in Liberty.
Good evening. This is Wednesday, and this is First at 9. Once again, a very warm welcome to your prime time English news service on Derana 24. We're back this Wednesday, and we will be here for the next couple of days too. It's interesting how Parliament and our oversight committees, the developments are happening there, especially COPE keeps getting appointments,
Yes, exactly.
but then the rest
Everybody is bouncing it out. I don't know, then there is this conversation about the fact that there could be parliamentary elections prior to the presidential election, despite the fact that yesterday the president said, no, I'm going to hold the presidential
prepare for presidential
elections first. But then again, you know, what's happening in our nation's parliament, where people are not basically telling, no, we can't work in this particular parliament because this parliament has lost its mandate. Is this a precursor, this entire COPE run out of parliamentarians? Is this a precursor whether the parliament itself will, you know, dissolve?
No, that is a valid question, because it seems that the members are unable to work together, so some sort of mandate is needed at this point. But let's see what decision is taken by the legislator, but as well as the head of state. However, there have been calls for ethics, corruption-free standards maintained in Parliament. So we have a number of stories on that to report to you tonight.
So let's begin tonight's bulletin. Now, the proceedings at our nation's parliament was at a fever pitch as a debate on the no confidence motion against the speaker and other matters were taken up for debate during the day today.
Opposition parliamentarian and chairman of the Committee on Public Finance, Dr. Harsha De Silva, put forward an official recommendation that the central bank salary increments be deferred pending an inquiry conducted by an independent body. Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament's no confidence motion saw heavy contention between the ruling party MPs and opposition MPs due to duke it out as the deadline for the vote looms tomorrow.
මෑතක සිදුකර කාර්ය මණ්ඩල වැටු වැඩිවීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් රජයේ මුදල් කාර්ක සභාවේ මතය.
With regard to the controversial salary hike awarded by the central bank to its employees, the Committee on Public Finance is of the view that despite them being able to do so, due to their autonomy, they have to still justify their rationale behind this to the Parliament. The percentages for which salaries were increased for employees at all management levels are unfair. Despite it being appropriate to increase the salaries of certain employees, it is inappropriate to issue salary increments to the entire staff. The Committee on Public Finance recommends that the Minister of Finance appoint an independent committee, which the central bank governor also agrees with, to probe this salary hike. Until a final decision is reached, the committee recommends postponing this salary increase.
ලැබී ඇති කරුණු මත අන්‍යෝන්‍යව පිළිගත් විසඳුමක් ලැබෙන තුරු වැටුප් වැඩි කිරීම ශ්‍රී ලංකා මහ බැංකුව විසින් කල් දමන ලෙසත් රජයේ මුදල් කාරක සභාව නිර්දේශ කරයි.
The central bank cannot increase the salaries of their employees and then publicly urge the members of the public to tighten their belts.
The salaries of the chief executive officers at the central bank were increased by 24%. Professionals with higher educational qualifications only joined the central bank. The salaries of junior employees were raised by only 9%. Compared to all other annual increments, this is not a big increase.
There are errors in this no confidence motion proposal. How can we debate such a motion? I know that the chief opposition whip, Lakshman Kiriyala, did not draft this. He is a senior counsel. GL Pires was the man behind this, and all of you are well aware about what kind of a person he is. Despite him being a professor of law, he has not appeared even before a magistrate's court. He cannot even appear at courts in his professional capacity because he has failed the attorney at law examination, which is a professional qualification.
With regard to the issue of the Speaker at the Constitutional Council, he could have informed the House that 4 members voted in favour of the IGP appointment, while 2 members each voted against and abstained from voting. He could have informed the House that those who abstained from voting too showed that they were against the appointment, and as a result, he is using his as the deciding vote. Did this process take place inside the House? No. He voted via the post after the conclusion of the meeting. Is he acting like a speaker should?
Said submit a no confidence motion against the speaker because in the history of this country, no speaker has allocated such a substantial amount of time as him in this house to the opposition. We were of the view that the government should instead submit a no confidence motion against the speaker because in the history of this country, no speaker has allocated such a substantial amount of time as him in this house to the opposition.
If the speaker acknowledges that he has made a mistake, I would say that we should not even be taking a vote and he should be correcting his mistakes. But if he doesn't acknowledge it, naturally we have to go for a vote. And we need to remember this. A vote will not correct the situation as we know, because the vote does not resolve the issuance of confidence and impartiality which is absolutely required in the office of the Speaker.
There is or seems to be a conflict between these tech companies and governments, mainly for possession of data about people and groups. Governments want to possess this data. They want the tech companies to share the data with them, or at least give them access. The tech companies, of course, want to guard this data because it is their true wealth. They use the data to maximize their revenues, earn profits. Governments want the data for surveillance. Both want the data to manipulate and control populations and make themselves more powerful. That is why they brought the online safety bill. The predominant aim of the government seems to be to push the platforms to give it our data and take down our content. It is not only the posts that are critical of it and inconvenient to it to be taken down, but also for the originator to be identified. Why would this latter requirement be necessary unless the government wants to intimidate, persecute and punish its critics and ideological and political opponents? This is why they bought the online safety bill, and there's a very, very dangerous provisions were enshrined in it, and that is why the Supreme Court held that more than half the bill needs to go either for a 2/3 vote or for a referendum, unless otherwise amended according to its own directions. And that is where the Speaker faulted himself, and fault not only lies at his feet but also at the officials' table. They too should have exercised some caution and cautioned the Speaker to adjourn Parliament for a very short while.
Member, your time is over.
Therefore, it is very, very unfortunate that this motion is being brought, but since it has validity, we will be voting for it.
New Dulux Pentolite Hygiene Plus. Refreshing walls for generations.
State Minister of Finance Shahan Semasinga confirmed that the government is preparing to enshrine the ongoing economic reforms into the law of the country to prevent them from being disrupted on account of the upcoming elections. Now, he stated this following a discussion with the Executive Director of the IMF for India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Bhutan, Dr. Krishnamurthy Subramaniam. A wide range of topics were also discussed around the current IMF program, and attention was also paid to the challenges that exist presently in digitizing the tax process. Now, during the discussion, the steps taken by the government to increase the number of tax files, which had decreased due to various previous policy decisions to approximately 1 million at present, was featured as well.
Well, police intervened with tear gas and water cannons today to disperse a protest march organized by the members of the People's Struggle Movement, leading up to a tense situation between riot police and protesters. A total of 33 persons were arrested by the police in one of the most or more violent protests of the recent past. During the protest, frontline Socialist Party activist Duminda Nagamua and youth activist Lahiru Veerasekara were also arrested.
A protest was initiated by the People's Struggle Movement today in front of the Fort Railway Station. The protest themed "Let's Overthrow the IMF Death Trap" was organized based on several demands, including the soaring cost of living and certain foreign agreements.
Both Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Rajapaksas are surging forward and neglecting the opinions and issues of the public. Therefore, we believe that a true people's opposition or true voice of the public is the need of the hour.
An executive president was ousted by the People's Struggle previously. However, that was a message conveyed to the entire management hierarchy of the nation. It is about time that we oust the Ranil Rajapaksha government. Another day similar to the 9th of April 2022 will come again. Be prepared for that.
The protesters were marching towards the Panchikavatta area when riot police intervened to disperse the crowd, which subsequently gave way to a tense situation manifesting between the protesters and the riot police. In a bid to disperse the protesting crowd, riot police resorted to the use of tear gas and water cannons near Bastian Mawatha. As the situation threatened to spiral out of control, more police intervention ensued, resulting in a total of 33 persons being arrested during the protest march in Peta today. Amongst the members, frontline Socialist Party activists Duminda Nagamua and youth activist Lahiru Veerasekara were also arrested. Meanwhile, during the demonstration, 5 police officers were injured following the clashes between the police and the protesters.
"33 persons have been arrested so far. Among the arrestees were 2 women and 2 Buddhist monks. This is a common occurrence when the police have to battle to maintain crowd control during a protest."
Well, TV Derana reiterated dominance as a leader and frontrunner of television media and news, claiming the People's Television Channel of the Year award at the Slim Counter People's Awards 2024.
Now, this was the 7th consecutive year Derana was awarded this award, solidifying the complete trust placed by the people of Sri Lanka in the brand, which is harnessed and stewarded with the utmost responsibility and gratitude.
Well, reaffirming excellence, TV Derana was also picked for the Youth Choice TV Channel of the Year at the star-studded event last night that paid homage to excellence in the media industry.
Is People's Awards 2024.
The Slim Kantar People's Awards 2024 played out under a sky full of stars last evening at the Monarch Imperial in Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte. The ceremony, which has been one of the most prestigious events in the corporate calendar since its inception in 2007, presents awards based on consumer preferences determined on the results of a survey rather than a panel of experts. The awards are presented by the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, supported by survey results, and recognize the brands and personalities that are closest to the hearts of the Sri Lankan people. Once again, the Derana Media Group dominated the awards night by claiming multiple awards.
TV Derana!
In a significant moment of pride, Sri Lanka's premium entertainment channel, TV Derana, was adjudged the winner of the People's Television Channel of the Year award for its 7th consecutive year.
Running away once again. Congratulations, TV Derana, TV Channel of the Year.
TV Derana Channel of the Year Award.
Sri Lanka's premium entertainment experience channel, ladies and gentlemen.
TV Derana also picked up the Youth Choice TV Channel of the Year award for its popularity amongst the youth of the nation.
TV Derana!
Congratulations, TV Derana.
Well done, congratulations, TV Derana. Slim Kantar, People's TV Channel of the Year. You.
Ayubowan, Vanakkam, good morning, Assalamu alaikum.
Chatura Alvis won the award for the People's Television Presenter of the Year for the 6th consecutive year, establishing his dominance as a phenom in his own right.
Chatura Alvis!
Congratulations, Chatura Alvis.
TV Derana's Devani Inima teledrama bagged the award for the People's Teledrama of the Year, while the lead of the picture, actor Raveen Kanishka, picked up the award for People's Teledrama Actor of the Year.
Of the Year.
Meanwhile, Ranjan Ramanayaka was honoured as the People's Actor of the Year. During the ceremony last night, Malini Fonseca, Nayanthara Wickramaarachi and Shalini Tharaka secured the award for the People's Teledrama Actress of the Year.
Let's put hands together for Malini Fonseca, Shalini Tharaka and Nayanthara Wickramaarachi.
Music sensation Flashback bagged the award for the People's Musical Band of the Year, as well as the Musical Band for the Youth award last evening. Singer Sashika Nisansala bagged the award for the People's Female Singer of the Year based on the choice of the people.
Well done, congratulations, Sashika Nisansala.
Chamaravira Singer won the People's Male Singer of the Year award.
Slim Kantar People's Male Singer of the Year Youth Award, ladies and gentlemen, Chamaravira Singer.
It was indeed quite a night for TV Derana.
Certainly.
Well, in other stories we have for you tonight, 3 more members have resigned from the Committee on Public Enterprise today, taking the total number of resignations from the committee to 10.
Well, the resigned members include MP Vasantayapa Bandara, who was appointed this morning to fill up the vacancies of the committee members of COPE, and National People's Power leader Anurukumara Dissanayake, who was an existing member.
Now, despite the resignations, the first meeting of the Committee on Public Enterprise in the 9th Parliament was held yesterday under the chairmanship of parliamentarian Rohitha Abegunawardena.
The first meeting of the Committee on Public Enterprises met yesterday under the newly appointed chairman, Rohitha Abegunawardena. By last evening, 7 members of the committee had stepped down from the committee, questioning the integrity of the chairmanship of the committee. Members of Parliament Hesha Vitanage and Dayasiri Jayasekara, who resigned last evening, were also present at the meeting. Due to the increasing number of resignations from the committee, independent MP Vasantayapa Bandara was appointed as a member. However, he too announced his resignation shortly after being appointed.
I think there should be a proper leadership. He or she should have an education background and also well-reputed experiences. Mr. Rohitha Abegunawardena, at least he should have a proper certificate, at least O-level. But without such an education background, how can he realize audit report, legal document? So, other than this leadership, chairmanship, when they are changing, so then we can give our full support. Other than that, we can't properly work under this chairman.
Sri Lanka Freedom Party MP Duminda Dissanayake also tendered his resignation as a member of the committee officially today. Issuing a statement, statement, he said that the committee does not reflect the transparency that the public of the country is expecting. National People's Power leader Anurukumara Dissanayake also tendered his resignation and officially announced it in Parliament today. Actually, the downfall of the COPE was mainly during Professor Ranjit Bandara's period. Because of that, even I limited my participation. It was a positive decision to make the meetings available to the media. Then they appointed Rohitha Pegunawardena as chairman. There was a sign there. Fundamentally, this is not the type of person that you would appoint to even understand that. This is a very immature political game they are playing. When you consider his behavior, the allegations against him, cases that are yet to be concluded and public opinion, I do not think there is any meaning in a committee that he is chairman of. Therefore, I too decided to resign from the committee.
Before COPE proceedings began in that COPE meeting, a few MPs made some statements. However, when it was aired that evening, almost all the statements made had been removed. I remember someone saying that the chairman has that discretion to do that. If it was something controversial, then by all means remove it. However, if he can remove our statements by alleging that they are controversial, how many other things against this government will be removed going forward? This is the Committee on Pohottu Enterprises, not the Committee on Public Enterprises anymore.
This is not the Committee on Public Enterprise anymore. Thank you.
With that, the total number of resignations from the Committee on Public Enterprises rose to 10 today.
Meanwhile, parliamentarian Derana English of the Samaki Jana Balawegaya, who was the first to resign from the Committee on Public Enterprises, confirmed that the decision to resign from the committee was a personal choice.
I sat down with MP Derana English earlier today at Hyde Park to discuss the situation, and he said that when appointing the members of the committee, their academic background and knowledge are salient factors to be considered.
Now, that being said, however, a member must also be a person devoid of allegations or court cases which can question their character, as per what the parliamentarian said. Now, he further states that he withdrew his name from the nomination for the chair of COPE after discovering who the possible committee members were going to be. And you can actually watch the full program tomorrow at 7 right here on Derana 24.
Shouldn't you be within this parliamentary oversight committee in order to oppose or raise concern or fight?
So some time ago we proposed that the standing orders of parliament be amended so that COPE is given teeth to deal with what it has to. So what it does is COPE can then directly refer it for investigations, or COPE can refer it to the CERBOC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, or COPE can refer it to the Attorney General so that legal proceedings could happen. That has been turned down by this government, and that was not allowed either. So nothing happens on the actually on the reports. And the other is widening the powers of COPE. And the third is a reason why I really was disappointed and I had resigned was when you appoint people to COPE, you certainly need to appoint people with a skill set, because you are certainly looking at finance, you're looking at management and things like that. But even more important is actually the ethics and the behavior and the character of the individuals you appoint. Because I mean, we are there on behalf of the stakeholder, and the stakeholder here is the public. We ourselves need to declare our assets and liabilities. We are looking at assets and liabilities of government institutions. I don't think we even have a moral right if we haven't been conducting our financial transactions properly, and therefore people who are either have allegations against them or have court cases against them or who have been convicted should definitely not be in COPE.
Are you saying no such individual has been appointed to the committee in a history of over 45 years?
I'm sure there must have been people who didn't meet all these requirements appointed, but I think the time has come actually to change it, and right? And there's a huge deterioration. I liked what Honorable Rasamanikam said. This is no more the Committee on Public Enterprises, COPE. It is the Committee on Pohottu Enterprises. And I think it illustrates it. When you appoint people like that, and particularly the position of chairman, you need to make sure that you put the right people. Otherwise, it's unfair by the public of the country.
There are a few questions. Did you set a trend here by resigning, or was this the sentiment among committee members even before you resigned?
I took a personal decision. There was no discussion with any members of the committee. I thought through it very carefully, and then I decided that maybe I should resign because it's really not fair by the public in the country. And it has happened
happened spontaneously, right? That these other members of OnCorp have decided to resign, and I did it on Monday, and on Tuesday it followed, and then on Wednesday as well, resignations have followed.
The government rejected the SJB proposal to appoint you as its chair.
In the last parliament, before the prorogation, I was the nominee of the opposition. Happened this past week is that I was not the nominee. Of course, the SJB wanted me to be the nominee, and then when I heard about the possible candidates that are going to be put forward by the government, then I decided that I will not be putting my name forward. But we put another member, right, of the opposition forward for the position. We thought that maybe the government might consider that, and the government was not even willing to consider that, and that is why I've decided basically that we should resign.
Let's get the latest with regard to the stock market right now. We want to bring you the latest developments from there. Now, the Colombo stock market, the Bourse plunged for a third straight day as profit-taking persisted, causing the benchmark index to slip into negative territory. Now, the ASP closed at 11,241 points, down 35 points. The banking sector witnessed mixed sentiments throughout the trading session, whilst active collection was evident on Sampath and on PABC. Meanwhile, a market turnover dipped into lowest for the month, reaching 910.1 million rupees, which is 47.8% below the monthly average of 1.7 billion rupees, following a notable spike yesterday. The banking, capital goods, and food and beverage and tobacco sectors jointly contributed 57% of overall turnover. Moreover, the total number of trades for the day reached only 11,517, marking nearly a 3-week low. Foreign investors shifted to a net buying position with a net inflow of 1.9 million rupees.
We have Udish and Jonas from First Capital Alliance with some thoughts on the current status of the economy.
On economic news this week, we saw the treasury bill rates at today's auction increase by roughly about 13 to 14 basis points across the 3-month, 6 months and 12-month tenors, despite the central bank accepting 15 billion less than the amount offered. Secondary market activity in the bond market was relatively lackluster. The average weighted prime lending rate remained flat at 11.35%. The increase in interest rates come amidst a deceleration in inflation, as vegetable prices have adjusted significantly over the last 2 weeks, which will mean that March inflation may edge down below 2%, combined with the impact coming in from the base effect from March 2023. The market is eagerly awaiting the monetary policy action on the 26th of March, with inflation coming down and economic activity relatively remaining lackluster. The currency, which has appreciated to about 303 rupees to the dollar, which may also support towards a decline in terms of policy rates. The currency appreciation has been mainly driven by an improvement in terms of tourism activity, with the first 17 months of March seeing arrivals close to 111,000. The GDP for the fourth quarter improved by 4.5% as a result of increased tax collections, with the government revenue collections improving.
Welcome back. We take you to our corporate news. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka held a meeting with the managing partners and audit partners of audit firms today.
Now, the meeting was aimed to discussing the expectations of the Securities and Exchange Commission on the role of auditors and administrative sanctions applicable to directors of the listed entities.
The Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka recently held a meeting with the managing partners and audit partners of audit firms on its list of approved auditors. This session aims to discuss the expectations of the SEC on the role of auditors and the administrative sanctions applicable to directors of listed entities in order to strengthen market discipline. The ultimate objective is to integrate the internal audit plan and focus areas with the external audit plan and focus for better efficacy in the final audit outcomes. SoftLogic plc announced that the company entered into a 99-year lease agreement with Colombo's Port City Development to establish a state-of-the-art hospital in partnership with the Mayo Clinic, targeting the regional medical tourism markets. Concurrently, SoftLogic Life Insurance has also submitted a bid for the acquisition of Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. In other corporate news, Neverback Security Private Limited and its chairman, Dr. Sampath Abeyasinghe, were honoured with 2 awards at the Pinnacle Sri Lanka 2023 Awards organised by MUGP International. During the ceremony, Neverback Security secured the award for the Best Security Service Providing Company of the Year, while the company chairman was awarded the Best Entrepreneur of the Year.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mahesh Johnny.
And I'm Indivari Amwat. Have a pleasant evening. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.